Whoa! What's up, people? What is going on? Happy Friday! We are back live with a Friday Focus. What is up? Woo! How y'all doing today? I'm feeling great. Super excited. Pumped up. The weekend is almost here. That doesn't matter because today's Friday. It's good stuff going on. So, welcome. So, Christmas is, what do we have? It's 11 days away. Are you kidding me? It's 11 days away. So, pumped that Christmas is coming up. Lots of good things coming up. So, wanted to, what's up, Dr. Josh? Wanted to get on, talk a little bit about this Friday. We've got some things to hash through. Coach Nick, what's happening? Had a couple things on my mind, but first, just wanted to say, love that you guys tune in. We appreciate that. Doing this stuff every Friday. So, today we have an opportunity to win something super amazing, which is this amazing Movement Fitness beanie. There is one without a ball. I'm bald, but Jake Hart. And there's also one like this. Boom, that you have an opportunity. Whoops, wrong way. Bring it back. You have an opportunity to win. Don't tell Teresa. Shh, it's a secret. So, anyway, happy Friday. Hope y'all are having a great day. Ali Garza, what's going on? So just wanted to hop on. We got a couple things looking at today. So we've got hashtag Be Great Today, hashtag movement. Again, if you share this video, if you find this has something of value that you can share with one of your friends, one of your peeps, one of your families, that would be tremendous. We would appreciate that. And you would have an opportunity to win one of these sweet beanies. Amazing. Hey. So, all right, so here's what we're going to talk about today. I'm super pumped because this week on Tuesday, I had my second, meeting with Scripter Publishing. So in March, it's tentatively scheduled for March 5th. The book is going to be coming out, Be Great Today, How to Become the Best Version of Yourself Through Intentional Attitudes and Actions. Super pumped about that. Been working on this for a while. We went through and we're hashed through the first edits of that. And so I'm back to writing crazy like a madman because I got a lot of stuff to dig in on. But really, a lot of the stuff that we talk about here, want to dig in and help to provide value, to provide something that is specific. So not just looking to provide some kind of motivational, some kind of like inspirational message, although that is a huge part of it, but also trying to focus in on something that provides you something tangibly that we can take out and put into action like today. Because I think that is something that we miss. We often look for a plan or we're waiting for the right thing to come along. And what ends up happening is we end up waiting for too long for the perfect thing and it doesn't come. And when in reality, if we just took the opportunity to start taking action, you could actually start to achieve a lot and then make changes along the way. So we're going to talk about some of that today. So again, you want a chance to win a beanie. Oh, without a ball, with a ball. Ooh, we got multiple of them. Super awesome. So we've got that opportunity today. So I'm going to put my hat back on. So that's the opportunity. Hashtag Be Great Today. Hashtag movement. So today I want to talk about three things. We're going to talk about consistency versus intensity. We're going to talk about having a plan and accountability buddies. Super excited about that. So what's up, Daniel Petrie? How you doing, man? So consistency versus intensity. This is something that we talk about in the fitness industry, but it applies to a lot of different areas of life. And here's what happens. People always ask, like, well, what's more important? Like, should I find the right plan and like dig in and do that? Whether it's like diet and like, should I do keto or intermittent fasting? Should I do this super hard workout? Whatever that looks like. Should I do that and jump back in if I'm trying to lose weight or get in shape, right? So should I do that or should I, what should I do? That's the question. What I often find, this has been true for myself, this has been true for a lot of people that have been here at Movement and clients that I've worked with in the past, is that we have this idea that we should start doing something really hard because that's what we should do. Like, if we want to lose weight, we have to like dig in and like, man, that means tomorrow the diet changes and I'm never eating that thing again. or I'm going to start on Monday. I'm doing this really tough thing, like it's like whole food only, or like keto or whatever. And that's the way it should be, something really hard. Or I'm going to go in and I'm going to do 1,000-calorie burn workouts when I haven't been doing anything for a while, or I've been doing like very low level. And so it's difficult for me because I see a lot of people do that. And what happens is a couple things. Number one, either someone gets hurt. Two, they go in and they try really, 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 really hard, and they work out for a week, right? 2 weeks, and they're killing it. What's up, Aaron Knox? Man, a lot has changed since the last time I saw you there, buddy. Nice hair. That's a great filter. But they go in and they work out. They're working super, super hard for a couple weeks. They change their diet, and they are gassed and they're spent, and they look at the end of the week or the end of the 2 weeks and they get on the scale and they're like, oh, I'm down like 2 pounds. Like, that's super frustrating for the amount of effort that I have put in. I know this to be true because I did this probably 5, 6, 7 times. So, weighing almost 300 pounds at one point, going, I need to lose 50 pounds. You put in a ton of effort and you go like, hey, 2 pounds when your goal is 50, and you're like, oh, that's a long way off, and we got a long way to go, and I'm super frustrated by that. Like, that's really, really disappointing. So when we take that intensity route, if you don't get hurt, there's an often chance that you're going to get disappointed because you expect things to change faster, more rapidly, if you take an intense route, which in reality, the difference is if you took a consistent approach to your fitness, to your nutrition, to your work, to being a mom, dad, whatever the case is, if you took a consistent approach rather than just the intense approach, you would have an opportunity to see dramatic changes over a period of time. For instance, I'll give you a great example. My story, some of you know this, some of you don't, but in 2006, I was 296 pounds standing on the scale at Christmas time, right? So I knew I had to make changes. I had done like, I don't know, 5, 6 or more, like I need to lose 50 pounds things and start jumping on it super hard. But I always ended up failing. So at that point, I was like, let's take it and make it a 5-pound goal. I'm going to start making minor changes, drink more water, cut it out. I talked about that a couple of the Friday Focuses ago. So making small changes over time allowed me to make continual progress and stay with it. And then as I kept going through, the intensity increases. So the hard part is if you can start off with something that is consistent, you can see change with an effort that is something that you can adapt and adjust to and feel really good about, rather than going like, man, I went really hard and didn't get the results I want. Whereas if you make gradual changes over time that continue to build upon each other, the intensity continues to ramp up, you can see significant change. If I told someone that had a significant amount of weight to lose, that in 6 months you could lose 50 pounds, you would be, I don't know anybody that would be like, yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. Like, that would be great, right? So that's, for me, what I did in that story, and that was making continual changes, increasing effort and intensity over time, versus going in and going like, man, I'm going to plow through this thing and I'm going to exercise like 12 times a week and I'm going to eat like 1,000 calories. And, where you find yourself at the end of the week, if you do that, frustrated and disappointed because you didn't get the results that you wanted. In actuality, a lot of those times we'll actually see people like increase weight because they think, I've worked out so hard, now I either deserve the calories that I have burned, or they think they've burned more calories than they actually have, and then they eat more, and consequently they gain weight because they think my exercise intensity is so high, so I can eat more, and that's, absolutely negates what we're trying to do. So consistency versus intensity. Be consistent first, then worry about changing the intensity of whatever it is you're doing. Show up every single day, right? If you are thinking you want to change your nutrition plan, like before you go, I'm going to do a specific diet, right? That may be the answer for some of you. It may not. But before you do that, before you like switch to keto, it's probably a good idea to like track and to know that you're doing some good stuff ahead of time, like staying on plan for 4 or 5 days a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, where you're like, you know what? forget it. I'm going to change everything. So if you find that you start to be consistent, then you can change your intensity, your effort over time. And that's going to make a dramatic change in your physique, in your exercise, in your nutrition, or in anything else that you're doing in life. Show up, be consistent. That's the first part of being great, is being consistent and being present in what you're doing. So consistency versus intensity, they're both important, but we need to be consistent first, then we can be intense. Okay, so when you look at what that means, think about a couple things when we're talking about having a plan. Having a plan means, number one, you should probably know what the result is that you want. All right, so if we have a goal in mind, we need to start with that. I would say, like you can have your, as Jim Collins would call it, your BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goal. But then also within that, we need to cut that down into small bits so that it's something that you can accomplish. For me, I still knew when I was 296 pounds, I knew I needed to lose 50 pounds. But what got me to start moving was going, all right, I'm 296. What if I got to 289? Like I broke that 290 barrier. That would be something that would bring me like satisfaction to go, all right, I'm no longer where I was, so I'm making progress. But it also gave me something tangible that I wasn't going like, well, it's not 50, because 50, if I don't see that on the scale soon, I'm going to become real discouraged, right? So, have a goal. Break it down into something that's tangible. Know what you want to accomplish, but break it down into small bits that you can accomplish over time. Second is to know like the purpose. So as we go through a plan, we need to make sure that we understand it's about progress, not perfection, right? We're not going to always be perfect. What's up, Josh? So we're not going to be perfect in everything that we're doing. So if we start by knowing what our goal is and what the end result is, there are things along the way that, having a plan, it's important to stay on that plan. But we need to know what the purpose and the intent is to get to our goal. For example, right now, I know that, when we have people at Movement Fitness, we put them all on a plan. So everybody's got a plan for our adults, that we put them on a customized plan. We do a functional movement screen. We assess. We talk about goals, and we put them on a specific plan, so that way they have a plan that's customized to them, right? We think that that's super important because everybody moves differently, and we want to make sure we meet people where they're at. It's important to stay on a plan. We have a lot of people, I know this has been the case for me in the past, and there are people that I've worked with in the past or people that I've talked to, and they're like, well, that's great, but I just don't, like, if I commit to a plan, then I'm like, stuck with that plan or whatever. And the hard part is for someone that coaches and works with people, you go, but if you don't have a plan, like, what's your roadmap? Like, how are you going to get to a result? Even if you had a goal or a result in mind that you wanted to get to, you don't have a plan. You don't have a map. It's like going on vacation, driving to Orlando, Florida. Like, I have a general idea of where that's at, but I don't have any idea how to get to Orlando as fast and efficiently as possible without pulling up my GPS and going, here's the roads that I need to take to get there. We follow that. We understand that when we're sitting in a car. But when we're trying to do like weight loss, nutrition, it could be your job, anything. Like when we think about that stuff, we're less apt to go, I need a plan. Until we get really frustrated. Generally, it takes some kind of frustration. For me, it took getting super, super, super heavy. On the job front, like we opened Movement Fitness, for me, it was I got fed up with what I was doing and having to go and do the stuff that my job required of me every day. So that forced me to create a plan, to start, building and moving towards opening Movement Fitness. So having a plan is super important. Look, I think that there are times that we need to like either put the plan on a pause. I can't even talk. I'm so excited about this. But putting the plan on pause, we have someone come in and maybe you just have come back from an injury, or you had a baby, or you've been sick, right? Maybe a short-term and maybe a long-term thing. How do we set them up to make sure that may be a day or a couple days where we don't follow the plan that was written? Like that totally makes sense. or you may just have a bad day and we may need to adjust things a little bit. But on the whole, we need to have something that we're going to follow continually over time. So it's super important to have a plan if you want to get to any kind of goal. So having a plan is actually freeing. Jocko Willink talks about this idea that discipline equals freedom. Greg Ballantyne says structure equals freedom. If you create this structure that allows you and knows like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to wake up at 5 in the morning. I'm going to go work out at 5:30. I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat. I'm going to go to work. I have my meals packed and planned for the day. Come home, eat dinner. I'm going to hang with the family. And then I'm going to go to bed at 8, 9, 10 o'clock, whatever time it is you go to bed. Having that plan set out will make your life better. The hard part is we go, well, I get home and I kind of want to veg in front of the TV. Or I want to go do something that wasn't on the plan. Sometimes that's okay. But we get off track of that. We're afraid to be disciplined because we feel like that's restrictive. But in actuality, it's going to create a freedom for you that you didn't have before. So don't be afraid of disciplining yourself in order to get to whatever goal that you want to achieve. So having a plan, have a plan, continue to go after it. That's what's important. So quick, like if you all want a beanie, we got them. I'm giving one of them away today. Hashtag Be Great Today, hashtag movement. Comment if this brings you value. I would love it if you would share this with one of your friends or family. So last thing we're going to talk about, we talked about consistency versus intensity. They're both important. Start with consistency first. Next, having a plan. Having a plan is super important. And following through on that is get a buddy. Get a buddy. Get someone that's going to hold you accountable to whatever it is that you said was important to you. So with having a plan, we create that discipline and that structure that's going to keep us in check, but it's also going to give us freedom to achieve the goals that we want. Real quick, I think the best example of this for me and for Teresa actually was having getting debt free. When we went through Financial Peace University, and I remember like the structure was like, okay, here's what you do, and you take this money and you pay it off, and then you snowball it into the next payment, and then the next, and the next, and the next. And we had this whole plan, and we stuck to it. Holy cow, it was difficult, but it also gave us a freedom that we had never known because it didn't feel like we were choking or drowning in debt. But we also were accountable to each other because at the end of the day, we would look at the bank account. We would look at our debit cards, credit cards, whatever it was, look at our cash, and we would go, hey, did we spend in the right places? Are we within the budget that we said we were going to stay in? And are we doing what we need to do? Are we doing all that we can to get out of this debt because it was awful? So we had each other to hold accountable for what we were doing. Now, more so her than me, her to me, me to her. She's going to kill me. So what's up, Andrew? How you doing, Mike? So me being held accountable and making sure that we're spending in the right places was huge because I couldn't go out and just spend and go to, the gas station to pick up snacks or go eat out. Even that had already kind of gone for me. Like having that money scenario created this opportunity to go like, we got to stay on plan because we know what we want to do. Like we couldn't open up a business if we had, personal debt the way we did. So having an accountability buddy, like she was somebody that I didn't want to disappoint. Now, husband and wife accountability partners doesn't always make sense. Neither does best friends, because your best friend may love you, but they may have more sympathy than empathy for you. And they may be like, oh, you had a bad day. Let's go get some pizza and have a beer, right? And there are days when that is completely applicable. But when that happens every time you have a bad day, or you have someone that you're like, hey, hold me accountable to this, and they never call you out on it because they're like, this would make our relationship weird if I said, hey, how's that whole eating and working out thing going for you? Did you do that this week? Right? That can be super difficult. what's important is to find someone that you don't want to disappoint in the specific area that you need accountability. You know, if you have someone that is, potentially either fit or in shape, maybe that's somebody that you need to have hold you accountable. You know that they're going to show up in the morning, that you're going to have to talk to them and say, hey, by the way, I want to lose weight, or I want to get in shape, or I want to get whatever it is. I want to do that. Will you help me stay accountable to that? Great. You know, if it's a work thing, or if it's a debt thing, figure out like who's the best person to hold you accountable. That may not be universal across all boards, but find out who the best person is to have to hold you accountable. Because again, like having a plan, at the end of the day, if you have a buddy, it's going to eventually hold you to that plan. You're going to see more results because they're going to love you enough to say, hey, knock it off. Hey, stop doing whatever it is you're doing. Hey, get back on your plan. I'm not doing this because I'm doing it because I love you. I want you to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. And that's what's important, right? So make sure that you get a buddy, someone that loves you enough to tell you the truth, someone that knows the difference between a kick in the pants and a pat on the back. That's super important. So have an accountability buddy. So consistency versus intensity. Have both, but start with consistency, okay? Number 2, have a plan. Know what you want the result to be, what the purpose of it is, and then start taking action on it immediately. I think this is actually something I skipped earlier. Whoops. Make sure that you start taking action like today. So if you have a goal that you want to achieve, start taking action on today. Aaron Knox, I know we missed our workout this morning, but you have an opportunity still left to come in at 5:15 this evening. I think you should do it. I think that would be really great, bud. See, I love you enough to tell you that. Make sure that you start taking action today. If you want to change your food, don't wait because Christmas is 11 days away, right? Don't say, oh, well, I'm going to throw it away because I'll start over after Christmas and this will be great and it'll be fine. It won't, okay? Do your best to start taking action now, build upon your consistency, and the intensity can increase over time, all right? So make sure that you know that. Have your plan, know what your result is, know what the purpose is, start taking action, and then have an accountability buddy that's going to keep you accountable to what you said you were going to do. Y'all, thank you for jumping in on this live, the Friday Focus. I'm super, super, super excited. Hashtag Be Great Today, hashtag movement. You guys share this video, I would be super grateful. We're building a ton of content and trying to help provide as much as we can. So if you guys have any questions on anything, if you have anything you want to know, let me know. Send me a message, direct message me, whatever, send me a message on Facebook. Send me an email, justin@movementfitnessrockford.com. You can reach me there, and that's it. So I hope y'all have an amazing weekend. I hope you have an amazing Friday. And don't forget, as always, Allie, right, to be great today. See ya.